All right, welcome back to the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. We've made it to Game 2 here between Haudenosaunee and the United States here at Day 3. The U.S. undefeated through the first two games. Haudenosaunee 1-1, taking on Poland and Canada heading into this one. We're about 2 minutes away. The U.S. leading all the teams in goals for so far, averaging almost 25 goals per game. An impressive total for them, but they're going to be taking on one of the better goaltenders so far in this tournament in between the pipes for Haudenosaunee in Blaine Powless. The goaltender for the London Blue Devils was in between the pipes yesterday against Canada and really showed out well. On the other side for the U.S., we are going to see Nathan Ruckel. It looks like they've chosen who's going to be taking the draw for both of these teams. We'll see what Haudenosaunee, starting the game strong, as we'll see is Nana on the other side of Tozier in the draw. See what Haudenosaunee can do to try and make the U.S. bleed a little bit, as they have looked pretty unstoppable so far. There's a conversation going on between the referees and the bench for the U.S. It looks like they've got it ironed out now. Tozier and Nana in the opening draw here. So will be rolled wide by the U.S. They'll get the first pickup and get us underway. Schultz taking this over half down the left side. Back along the wall. Pazinza down the left side. Back to the top. Hall sending it to the corner. Pazinza swaps spots with him. They'll work their way back around. A little rotation on the left side for the U.S. Running in down the right is Stearns. He'll go low and score. The U.S. get there first in their first possession of their third game. And it's going to be Brayden Stearns getting things started for them. His 8th goal of the tournament so far. He's been a big part of their offense. And we get another look at this as they just set up pretty much their entire team on the left side, created that one-on-one for Stearns down the right side. And at that point, all he had to do was just outrun that one defender. Beautiful shot for him, going right between the legs of Powless. And they'll get another. Tyler Sebastian from up high. The U.S. will go up by 2 early. That's going to be Sebastian's 12th of the World Juniors so far. Picking it up along the wall off the draw. Tozier taking it back into his own zone for the U.S. Kuczma sending a long one over half. This will get popped up over and back. Called on the U.S. Gabois being forced to give it up. Down the left side, Nolan Sharp on the attack. He'll take it down the left side, firing this one on. Back along the wall. This will be given back to Haudenosaunee. Back to the top. Down the left side, McAmmond fires it just wide. Back up to Nolan Sharp. Taking it to the top, firing it on. Good stop And it does look like that's Beck Hagen in between the pipes for the U.S. Nathan Rugal got the start yesterday for them. They'll be switching it up here. Back to the stop. Greg Orick on the right side. Back along the wall. Cross to Sebastian. Takes it to the top. Fires it on. Paulus stops that one. Haudenosaunee, long pass, trying to hit Lucid on the run down the middle. Couldn't find his stick. Takis will load up. Didn't like what he saw. He'll run it over himself. Hands this one off to Hall. On the left side. Hall at the top. Back over to Stearns. And we'll get a run the other direction. Haudenosaunee on the attack. Nichols quickly getting swarmed by the U.S. defense. Trying to escape this 2-on-2. He'll take a few whacks, get out of there. Up to Contreras down the right side. Fires it on, goes low. Somehow that bounces wide. I'm not even sure what that hit. Nichols back up to the top. Knife. He'll take it around. Knife trying to hit Goodwill. Gets it off of the helmet of that U.S. defender right in front of him. I think that was Gann. They'll load up and fire. A long pass down the left side. Gebois fires it just wide right of the post. Dayrider gets the pickup. This will get handed off. Haudenosaunee down the right side. They'll set up. Mahar Robbins. His pass will get picked off, and we will get a penalty here coming up to the U.S. 2 minutes for holding. Gebois heading to the box. Haudenosaunee's power play so far, 33% through the World Juniors. So they'll go back down the floor, over and back on Haudenosaunee. Tosher getting it up at the top for the U.S., or he'll just leave it as Tyler Sebastian gets the pickup. U.S. up 2-0. Down the right side. Trying to keep their lead here on the penalty kill. Up to Greg Orick. Down the left side, Tyler Sebastian walking it back to the top. Greg Orick inside, down the left, Takis. Couldn't get that one past the goaltender. They'll take a run down the left side. Goodwill gets it through the first line of defense, trying to hold that ball. Back to the top, McAmmond. He'll reset with Contreras. The silver tip sending that one down the left side. Long shot from Goodwill. Stopped in front, Hagen. Will hold up, sends a long pass. Can't quite hit the stick of Kuczma. Paulus coming out to pick it up. Haudenosaunee down the right side. Contreras taking it across the zone. On the left side, right in front, Nichols through the slot. Couldn't shoot. Back to the top, Tayson Knife. That's stolen back. The U.S. on the attack. 1-on-1. Here comes Ryan. Didn't like it. He'll walk it back behind the goal. 5 minutes gone. U.S. up by 2. Shots looking pretty even so far. U.S. trying to waste down this shot clock. Stearns making his way down the right. 5 seconds to go. Gets the screen. Back to the top. Stearns down the left. Hits or misses the stick of Pazinza. And they'll go down the left. Dayrider. He's going to take a stick up high. They wanted a high stick. Won't get one. Back up to the top. Sands with it. Across the zone. Into the corner. Cutting his way in. Nolan Sharp going high. Hagen. Another long pass. This one picked up by Gebois. He'll go high. Paulus on the stop. Sebastian gets the rebound for the U.S. They're back at even strength. Taking a few whacks along the wall. Rushing their way in. Sebastian couldn't get number 2. Takis on the rebound. Gebois down the left side. Up to the top, Sebastian. Stopped and turned away. Gamboa with it. Cross the zone on the left side. They'll go low. Gregoric couldn't beat Paulus. They'll send a long pass to Crowchild down the right side. Chisholm giving a few whacks to Crowchild. That's one way to stay on the right side of the half line, running into his teammate. Back to the top. Jonathan walks in, fires it high. Caught by Gann. The U.S. starting to go down the left side of the floor. Silva hands this one off. Leighton Hall down the right side. Terrazzano to the top. Pazinza over to Hall. Hall to Takis. This is going to roll back over the half line. Picked back up by the U.S. Only barely, as they'll catch it at the top. Terrazzano to Takis. Shot clock called on the U.S. There might have been a bit of a some confusion there regarding how much time is left on the shot clock. Sands on the right side. Going down the left from the corner. Popped in front. Schultz picked up by Hagen. Down the left side now. Schultz with it. They'll take this one in. Sebastian up to the top. Gregor cuts their way in. Back to the top again, down the left side. Gabois. This one will whistle wide. Sebastian on the second try. Neither player able to hit the net. That's a shot clock violation on the U.S. As it looks like we're going to head into our media break here. 7:18 to go here in the first quarter. 2-0 for the U.S. earlier, watching the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. All right, welcome back. We're about to get underway in the corner with Haudenosaunee getting their offense started. 7:18 to go in the first quarter. 2-0 for the U.S. after they take an early lead. Haudenosaunee trying to find their first. Down the left side. Back to the top. Down the right with Jonathan. Fires this one on. Blocked in front by Tosher. Back out wide. Running out of clock here. 10 seconds to go. Stuck in the corner. They're going to blow this one down. It looks like the ball will be given back to the U.S. Kuczma passing this one down the left. Gann taking it over the half line. On the left side, Gabois. Up at the top. Tyler Sebastian. Back over to the corner. They'll wind up, fires this one just wide right. Back over the half. That'll go out of play. It looks like we will see it given back to Haudenosaunee. At the top, McAmmond behind the goal now. Along the outside, Nolan Sharp. He'll shoot this one in just off the backboards, back down the floor. Over and back called on Haudenosaunee. Gabois to the top. Takas. Back to Gabois. That one goes off the helmet and out of play. That was Alexander Foy's, I believe. Back outside. Takas down the left side. Back to Gregor. That's whistled wide and off the backboards, back down the floor. Another over and back. 6 minutes to go in the first. The U.S. leading in shots 7-5. Tayson Knife starts with a down low. Chaos forward, sending it down the left side. This one will land back along the wall. The U.S. on the steal. Here comes Kuczma. Down the left side on the rush. He's going to take it in. Sends it up high. He'll score. The U.S. find their third. And it was a nice play by Kuczma, having the patience to wait and send it up high over the shoulder of Paulus once he pulled off the post, as he was nice and tight, and just as he shifted away, he was able to put it over his shoulder. Dosher. That one's picked up, trying to run in on the fast break. The U.S. a rollover. Gabois can't pick that one up. Haudenosaunee will not be able to get that one. Although it goes off the bench and onto Dayrider's stick. I assume that one was going out of play as that's popped up. And that one will land in the U.S. bench. Sharp with it at the top. Down the left side, Tayson Knife. Off the screen from Goodwill. Down the right, Jonathan down low. Back across on the left side. Silva. Sebastian with it now. Taking it to the corner. Back to the top. Lazinza. Down low. Hall with it. Down the right side. Wired on by Stearns. That'll miss. Back up to Tyler Sebastian. He'll go low. He'll score. Able to sneak that one underneath Paulus. An early strong start from the U.S. Just a little over 10 minutes through the first quarter. Not leading by very much in the shots, but in high danger chances, they sure have capitalized. Tosher winning the draw for the U.S. down the right side into the corner. Back up to the top, Sebastian. Hayes with it. Down the left side. Sebastian back up to the top. Hayes fires on. He'll end up loose and stopped by that last line of defense there. And that was Richie Lucid able to get there. Haudenosaunee sends a long pass. Can't quite connect as the U.S. get it back in their own zone. Taking it over the line is Ryan. Down the left side. Greg Orick. Into the corner, Gabois. Back to Greg Orick. Up at the top. Pazinza. On the left side, Gabois. Down the right. Fires this one on. Picked up. Terrazzano. Walking across the zone. Misses just wide left of that post. Pop back up. Down the right side. Greg Orick will get the pickup. 20-second shot clock for the U.S. Gabois goes down the left side to the corner. Picked up. Wired on. Pazinza. Had 2 assists already. He's going to add a goal to his total. 5-0 for the U.S. as we'll get ready for the draw here. This one picked up by the U.S. once again. They have really been good so far in the face-offs here at World Juniors. Sebastian down the left side. Gebois. That's going to get called on a screen. Going the other way. Walking over the line. Feist. This will be handed off to Sands. Down the left side. Sands goes low. Haudenosaunee. He'll get there first. And it's the captain, Reese Sands. A beautiful shot. Beats Beck Hagen just on the left side. And was able to sneak just past his pad. The U.S. win the draw. Tosher down the center. He'll bounce it in and score. The U.S. respond back quick. So we'll get right back to it. Another face-off coming up. Tayson Knife. Cross from Tozier. .2:30 to go. Picked up by Tozier. Off the draw. Trying to head down the left side. Schultz with the pickup. Walks it over half. Down the right side. Inside finds Stearns. He'll cut through. Stays up through traffic. That'll end up back up high with Gebois. He'll fake the shot. Sebastian switches spots with him down the right side. Empty net for the U.S. They'll get a power play. Jumping in. Going for the shot is Takis. But he won't be able to beat Palace on that one. We'll head to the box. It's going to be Alexander Foys. It's going to be 2 minutes for cross-checking, I believe. So we'll see the U.S. get it up at the top. The U.S. working their way around the arc. Gebois to Sebastian on the left side. Back to Gebois. Down the right side. Terrazzano swaps spots with Stearns. Gebois fires it on. Paulus. Good stuff. Over half. Dayrider can't hold on there. Up at the top. The U.S. set up once again. Sebastian to Gebois. Down the right. Terrazzano to Gebois. Down the right. Back to the top. Find the back pass. Misses the stick of Sebastian. It'll land back along the wall. Still 1:10 to go. Stolen back by Haudenosaunee. And we'll see them start with it up at the top. There was a whistle here. And it looks like the U.S. will be heading to the box. I didn't catch what the call is going to be for here. Gebois arguing the U.S.'s case. 2 minutes thrown up on the board. We're going to get some 4-on-4. McGammond taking it from half. He'll go down the left. It'll be an illegal body contact call to Leighton Hall. Back along the right side. 40 or so seconds to go. McAmmond walking it across center. Gets the shot off for Haudenosaunee. Schultz down the left side. Gabois taking it down the left side for the U.S. Sebastian coming in to help on the screen. Stearns walks in down the right, goes low, won't beat him. Hanging the other way, Haudenosaunee. Down the left side, Feist. Gabois coming into battle. 10 seconds to go. The U.S. trying to get the steal. They'll knock it off his stick. Takes a knife. 2-on-0. Jonathan misses the net on that. And will land back in the corner. 0.6 to go. The U.S. get it, but won't be able to do much with it. 15 minutes have come and gone. 6-1 your score, the U.S. over Haudenosaunee, as we head to a short break. You're watching the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship here in Brooks, Alberta. All right, 15 minutes thrown back up on the board. Second quarter about to get back underway. So the U.S. and Haudenosaunee. Face off, won by Haudenosaunee. The U.S. were very dominant in the draws in that first quarter. Well, weren't able to win that one. They'll get the steal. Kuczma in on the attack, stopped by Paulus. Heading the other way. Contreras taking this one over half. Down the right. Back up to the top, Nolan Sharp. On the near side, Nichols. That one wired on. Bouncing all the way back out. Tosher gets the steal. No defense in sight. Just has to outrun Nichols, but decides to just take it back out. Schultz on the right side. Brayden Stearns down the right side. To the corner. Up to the top. Heavy hit on Stearns. We've got a hand in the air. The U.S. will be heading to the power play. We'll see what the call ends up being. As that was a hard hit from Isaiah Nichols. It's going to be 5 minutes for boarding. The U.S. will get a huge chance here to try and add to their lead. As we get another look at this one. Up at the top. Terrazano. Back to Gabois. Gabois. Back to Sebastian. They'll score. The U.S. get another. Is Nana stepping into the draw across from Tosher. Tosher wins the draw right in front of that U.S. bench, taking it to the corner. Back up to the top and down the right side. Greg Orick. He'll go off. Gabois down the left side, sending it back to Sebastian. Now out to 2 goals on the game, trying to make it 3. Won't get it there. Haudenosaunee. Lucid gets it over the half line and not much further as he runs into a lot of U.S. traffic. And down the left side. Now down the right with Stearns. He'll get it right back. To the top, Gabois. Resetting for the U.S. 20-second shot clock. Greg Orick in the corner. Back up to Gabois. And down the right side, Stearns. Terrazano playing the corner. Gabois, high shot. Goes off the pad and back out wide. Fresh shot clock for the U.S. Stearns up at the top. He'll walk in. Fired himself. Miss on the attempt. Recovered and shot off the post by the U.S. They're going to get it right back. Still 3:37 to go on their power play. They've already scored 1 on it. It won't expire until they get a second. Down the left, on the right side, Terrazano. The U.S. get their 8th. As it looks like we're moving to 5-on-5. Face off, won by the U.S. Up at the top, Schultz. Down the right side, Terrazano. Down the left. Cutting his way in, Hayes popped back up to Terrazano. On the right side, finds an angle, trying to spin his way in. Pop back up, Crowchild on the steal. Taking it back down the floor. He'll get knocked down. Sebastian, whistle blown. And it looks like the U.S. will be heading to the penalty box. And Sebastian going to sit. 2 minutes for hooking, the call. So we get a look at this. And there's it right there. Jack Spallone, the head coach of the U.S., very audibly not happy about the call. Haudenosaunee get their power play on the floor. Goodwill down the right side. Back to the top, firing it on. Good stop, turned away by Hagen. Back to the top. Nolan Sharp resets. Goodwill down the right side. Mick Hammond is one put on. Block stolen back by Contreras. Mick Hammond. Goodwill with it now. Back to the top again. Setting the screen, Goodwill. Mick Hammond walks in, fires. That one just wide. Over and back called on Haudenosaunee. Gebois. From the corner now. He'll walk it behind the goal. Taking it down the left side. Walking it back up to the top. This one put on. Stopped off the pad. Dayrider. Gebois. This one whistles wide. Looks like we're going to see some more 4-on-4 as Gebois went down in front. Refs weren't too happy about how Haudenosaunee went about it. We'll get ready for some more 4-on-4. Some conversation about it on the floor. Illegal cross check to Alexander Foisey. We're going to see 44 seconds of 4-on-4 before we head to a minute and 16 seconds of power play time for the U.S. Stearns down the right side, up to the top, across the zone, right in front. Gebois couldn't get that one past Dayrider. Rushing in, they'll score is Nana. Gets number 2. Haudenosaunee scoring on the fast break. Taking it down the right side and beating Hagen. Bit of an odd situation there as it looked like Haudenosaunee had too many players on the floor. The U.S. had too few. They got it figured out. We're back to 4-on-4. Kuczma, Gregoric at the top. There's one passed over to Brayden Stearns. First time I'm seeing him on the floor since taking that heavy hit in the corner. That resulted in that 5-minute boarding penalty. That one shot wide. Back into the corner again. Picked up by Stearns and sent back to the top. Out comes Tyler Sebastian, and the U.S. gets their power play started. Sebastian out of the box, and he's going to have it at the top. Fired on. Haudenosaunee gets one more for the U.S. That's going to be an assist for Tyler Sebastian, adding to his tournament leading total. As that'll do it for the U.S. power play. It looked real lethal so far on the tournament. Going into today, it was at 60% through their first 2 games. Sebastian from the corner. Gebois. Terrazzano. Back across the floor again. Sebastian. He'll spin his way out. Walks right in on untouched. Gets the shot off. U.S. on the rebound. They'll get blown down before they could get it off. Going back down the left side. Crowchild. Long pass. Won't quite find its target. Contreras able to track it down regardless. Jonathan on the right side, back across the zone. Mahar Robbins fires this one off the shoulder, popped up. Caught by Mahar Robbins again. He'll have to go to battle in the corner. Losing the ball in that double team, going back down the floor. Kuczma down the right side, has options up high. And on the far side of the floor, he'll hand it off to Takis. Stearns, cross to Pazinza. Gregoric along the wall. Wires it on. Good stop. Crowchild gets the pickup. Back behind the goal. Lalonde coming out to play it. Long pass by Crowchild. Contreras walks in, goes high. Good stop. Hagen is going to wind up, flying that one down the right. Stearns fires it on. Lalonde on the stop. Bouncing this one to Crowchild. This will head back down the floor. Sharp up at the top. That's going to be a heavy hit in on Tayson Knife, trying to cut his way into the slot. Jonathan coming in to defend his teammate as they try and fight for it in the corner. That one picked up by the U.S. Schultz taking it back over half. Down the left side, Sebastian. To the top, Hall. Hayes with it. Down the left. Gabois to Hall. To the corner, Sebastian. Takes it back up high. In front, Gabois was untouched. Hayes on the right side. Fires it on. Rebounds there. They'll blow it down. We've got a penalty coming up. Potentially. It doesn't look like it'll be a penalty. It'll only be a minor infraction, but regardless, we will get a pause as timeout coming up. 7:02 to go in the second quarter. 9-2 favoring the U.S. You're watching the 2026, excuse me, a lot of twos, in the IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. All right, welcome back. 7:02 to go here in the second quarter. 9-2 for the U.S. Down the right side, McCammon gets things started. Nolan Sharp up at the top, off the screen from Mahar Robbins. Right inside, couldn't hit his stick. Sharp on the steal. He'll go down the left. Trying to send it to the corner, cross the zone. McCammon on the pickup. Down the right side. Tried the behind the back. Won't go for Sands. He'll take it back up to the top. Fires this one on. That'll take an odd bounce off the backboards and go back down the floor. We're going to see the U.S. start with it on the right side. Gregoric down the left side. Walking in, firing it on is Pazinza. Nichols goes to battle in the corner. He'll lose it on a heavy hit down low, and it'll be given back to Haudenosaunee. Nana couldn't get the pickup there. Stolen back by Takis. They want it over and back. They're not going to get it, it looks like. Gregoric up at the top. Down the left side. Goalie pulled by Hagen. Tyler Sebastian comes on the floor as the sixth man for the U.S. Walking in, Gabois on the shot. We'll see things blown down. It's going to be a cross check going to Foyes. Gabois is going to get it up at the top. Down the right side, Stearns. Back up to Gabois. Working their way across. Sebastian, Gabois to Stearns again. They'll set a screen. Sebastian swaps spots with Gabois. It'll bounce off the boards, landing back with Lalonde in between the pipes. He's going to send a long one. Picked up by Contreras. Walks in, goes high. They'll blow it down just before the shot. And you can hear the outrage in the arena as it looked like Contreras. It looked like he had the third goal. And you can see it. It's going to be an unsportsmanlike if I saw that right. Haudenosaunee heading to the box. They sure thought they had a shorthanded goal with Contreras. And it looks like the U.S. will be heading to the box as well. We got 3 players down there at this point. 1 for the U.S., 2 for Haudenosaunee. One player is calling for 4-on-4. We'll see if that ends up being right. It looks like it's going to be... It looks like it is going to be 4-on-4, interestingly. As there is some confusion here. It's going to be 3-on-4 as they just made the change. That's what I assumed it was going to be, but they've got to figure it out now. Contreras heads off. Jonathan down the right side. Spins off one defender. Jonathan trying to work in on Tosher. Jonathan more than happy to take the one-on-one, working his way through. He'll lose his stick, but he'll keep battling. Back up at the top, Gabois. He's going to fake the handoff to Stearns. Down into the corner, Sebastian. Up at the top. Down the right, Stearns. Across the zone, Sebastian fires it low. Good stop. Lalonde. Long pass. Contreras was all alone. He's going to get the pickup. And he's going to try and waste down some of this clock. Ten seconds on the shot clock. Contreras has 4 defenders on him. They're trying to knock it off his stick. 3 seconds to go. Trying to turn with the ball. Fires it on. Shot clock violation, I think, went off a little before the shot, but good solo effort by Contreras. Back across Gabois. 4 minutes on the second quarter. Hayes with it. Down the left side, Gabois. Back to Hayes. Back to the wing. Firing this one on just off the shoulder. 20 seconds left in the 4-on-4. And a big hit by Foys on Hayes there. Quick hand in the air. Hagen's going for another run to the bench. And it's going to be Alexander Foys again here. This is going to be another cross-check, I believe. And this is Foys' 4th cross-checking penalty so far in this one. As there is some conversation here at center. They're trying to iron out what exactly is going to happen here. It is going to be 4-on-3 before both players from the Coincidentals leave the box, and we get to some 5-on-4. Gabois will get it at the top for the U.S. Back down the right side to the top. Gabois fires it on. Turned away by Lalonde. Gabois with it. Back up to the top. Sebastian puts it in on Lalonde. Good stop. They're going to wind up. Long pass. Contreras. Couldn't find that one. Hagen. Back down the right side. Kuczma up to Sebastian. Down the left side. To the top. Setting it up with Greg Orick. Stearns. Back across to Sebastian. To the corner. Greg Orick at the top. Stearns fires it on. Good stop by Lalonde. Picked up by Greg Orick. Able to get it back. Up at the top. They'll score as the U.S. get their 10th, as it looked like Nichols was struggling a little bit with something. And it was a nice play that found Gabois on the far post. We'll get ready for another face-off here. Gabois gets his first goal of the game so far. Had 3 assists. That'll be his 4th point. Knife down the left. Back to the corner. Across the floor. Contreras takes a whack, goes for a dive. Won't beat Hagen. Takis down the right side. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Up at the top. Down the left side. Long shot blocked and turned away. Pazin's on the try. Back down the floor is Nana. Trying to outrun the U.S. defense. Walked in. Goes low. Stopped by Hagen. Another long pass. Silva going into the corner to get the pickup. Having to battle Lucid. Back along the left side. Mahar Robbins. Up at the top. McGammon to Mahar Robbins. Fires it high. Breaks the stick. As that shot managed to shatter the goal stick of Hagen. As you can see him looking directly up in the air. That's an expensive piece of equipment. That's splintered all over the floor. As Hagen walks back to the net with his new twig. Looks like that's Nathan Ruckel's stick that he'll be using here.
Last minute of play in the second quarter.
Stearns up at the top. Resets with Gabois. Down the left side to the corner. Sebastian. Back up to Takis. Down the right side. Stearns. Walks to the top. Down the left. Fires it on. Pazin's on the try. Covered up by Lalonde and sent back the other way. Nichols. Down the right side. Sent it high. Schultz on the stop. He's going to walk it back down the floor. Long pass, trying to find the stick of Brayden Stearns. 17 seconds on the game clock. U.S. will call a timeout. As they're going to take a second to try and plan out their approach. We'll see if they decide to go with an empty net. Up by 8, going into the second half. Chance to make it 9. Backhagen still standing by the bench here. Hagen will go on the bench. Ten seconds to go. Sebastian at the top. Going down the left off a double screen. Down the right. Stearns off the backboards. Back up to Sebastian. 2 seconds. Fires it on. Blocked, and that will do it. 10 to 2 after 30 minutes. Still 30 minutes left to go. You're watching the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship here in Brooks, Alberta. All right, welcome back to the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. We've got game 2 of day 3 here between the USA and Haudenosaunee. 10-2 after the first 30 still left to go as we head into the second half. Tosher and his Nana getting ready to go for the draw here. As there was a conversation being had between the referees and the head coach of Haudenosaunee. It looks like they got it figured out. My guess is it could have been regarding Alexander Foyes, as he's up to 4 penalties on the game. It'll be interesting to see whether we get to keep seeing him in this one, as I'm not exactly caught up on what the exact rule is for this tournament on how many penalties before an ejection. There was a conversation on the 4th penalty on whether it would happen. He's still on the bench, so we'll see if he stays there or not, as is Nana and Tosher go at it. It'll be won by the U.S. as they head in on the attack. Down the left side. In the corner. Walking it across. Gebois at the top. Takes the shot. Back up high. Gregoric. That'll miss wide. Terrazano on the shot. Back to Gebois. Firing it low. Stopped by Lalonde. Heading back down the floor. Up high on the right side. Nichols. Mahar Robbins. Down the right. McAmmond now. Down the left. Sharp. McAmmond. Bounces off the hit. McAmmond pushing through. Takes it low. Goes for it. Nice individual effort. Just missed a little bit left to that post as the U.S. get it back. Trying to head back the other way. Ryan over half, hands it off to Tyler Sebastian. On the right side, back to Pazinza. Across the left, Tyler Sebastian once again off the screen from Pazinza down the right. Back up to the top, long shot by Stearns. Not too sure if he beat the shot clock. Lalonde got the stop. Heading up the floor. Stolen off of his stick. Knocked back over. Over and back called on Haudenosaunee. Making their way down the left. Up to the top, Gebois across the zone. Terrazano to Hayes. Hayes walks in off the screen. Fired on, Gregoric. Number 11 for the U.S. Able to beat Lalonde 5-hole with a blast up high. Tosher once again in the draw. Tayson knife. That'll be won by Tosher. Down the left side, Kuczma. Terrazano. Up to Takis. Down the left side. Sebastian. Cross the zone. To the top. Pazinza. Looking down the right. Bounces off the helm of Nichols. Picked back up by the U.S. They're going to cut through. Sets it up right behind the dive from Sebastian. The U.S. with one more to add to the highlight reel. And it looks like we've got some penalties coming up here. Gabois is heading to the box. And it was after the play that these were called. You can see Gabois on the bench there, not too happy about it. Dayrider joining him in the box. As they're still talking about this one here. Trying to figure out what exactly is going to be the call. Gabois has been booked for 2. Mahar Robbins making a signal for 4-on-4. Bauer Dayrider, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct. And a penalty has not been put up yet for Gabois. But probably a safe assumption. He'll be put in the box for the same, as Dayrider's penalty isn't up on the board quite yet. There it is. So both are in for 2. It's coincidentals. Dowsher on the attack, 4-on-4. He'll miss the net. Turned away. Reset up at the top. Over to Schultz. Greg Orick down the right side. Stearns taking a few whacks in the arm. Gets it right back. Over to Sebastian now. Down the left side. Back to the corner. Greg Orick resets at the top. Down the right side, fires it on. They're going to send it up the right side. Heading the other way. They're going to call a 10-second on his Nana. Up at the top, Dacus. Cross to Sebastian. Greg Orick sending it to the corner. 55 seconds left in the 4-on-4, but we'll see a penalty coming up before that. As it looked like that was Tyler Sebastian down in the corner. And it's Alexander Foys again. And Foys will be getting the tunnel. As that was his 5th penalty, they'll have to send somebody to serve it. It looks like Mahar Robbins might be making his way over. As they're still trying to figure out what'll be happening here. It's going to be a 5-minute major to Foys. Jonathan heads to the box to serve it. To Hall in the corner. Back up to the top. Fired on. Terrazano turns it away. Picked up by Stearns down low. Terrazano. Up high, Sebastian. Fired low. Picked up. As they try and break out, down the left side is Nana. Long pass. Here comes Nichols on the charge. He's going to wait for some help, shorthanded. And Nolan Sharp goes in. Up to the top, Contreras. Fires it high, off the back of the goaltender nearly. But it'll go back down the floor, over and back. Contreras very clearly wants it to be called a tip. He doesn't think that an over and back is the right call. From the right side, Sebastian back into the corner. Hall with the no-look shot, won't go. Looking deep. Lalonde sends this one off the backboards. Knife can't pick up. Stearns with it. Up at the top, Gabois. Pazinza down the right. Hayes sets the screen. Down the left for Sebastian. Gabois playing right in front. Fresh out of the box. Back to Sebastian again. Up to the top, Pazinza. He's going to bobble it, running out of clock. In front, Gabois puts it on, but he'll miss on the shot attempt. Shot clock violation called on the U.S. They'll take it over half. Knocking the ball off his stick. Kuczma gets the pickup for the United States. Back over half on the left side. Gabois up at the top. Takis over to Gregor down the right side. Now one. Shot back down the floor, and over and back called on the U.S. Haudenosaunee getting it in the corner. Contreras along the wall. On the right side, taking a few whacks. Trying to push through traffic. Up to the top. Across the floor. Firing it on. Diving on top of it. Good stop by Ruckel. Again, down the left side. Sebastian to Hall. Back to Sebastian on the left side. He'll go back and forth before sending it down the right side with Stearns. Sebastian to Hall at the top. Swaps spots with Sebastian. Fires it back by the net. Empty net for the U.S. Puts it on Hall. The U.S. able to score with 6 attackers. And it was a nice shot by Hall, able to see through the traffic. Tosher in the draw here. Cross from Knife. .150 still to go on the power play, or the penalty, to Knife. Or Foyce, as they'll go down the right side. Diving for it, won't go. Goes off the side of the net, I believe, as Stearns dived right on top of Lalonde. Looks like Stearns might be heading to the box for goalie interference. He can't really believe it, so he's walking back to the bench. Stearns making it clear how he feels about the penalty. He'll go to take a seat in the box. Sands will take it from half. Sharp. Off the screen from Mahar Robbins. Sharp cross to Contreras. Passing this one over. Down the right, Sands walks in, fires it high. Blocked in front, picked up by Ruckel. Passing this one over to Schultz. Gabois down the left side. Up to Sebastian. Down the right. To the top again. Fakes his way through. Goes low. Good stop by Lalonde. Greg Ork nearly got the steal. Couldn't hold on. Is Nana diving through. Puts it on. No goal. He'll say he took a step in the crease. Dan the other way. Gabois on the left side, up to the top. Pazienza. Down the left, fired it low. Good stop, Lalonde, popped up by Dayrider. Stolen back, they'll head the other direction. Charging through, trying to stay in Pazienza's blind spot as it's fired over top of the net. Landing just behind. Diving for it is Sharp. He couldn't get it. Heading the other way. The U.S. Gabois on the attempt. He'll get taken out at center. And it looks like we're going to get another penalty. Stearns still in the box for 16 seconds. So it's going to be 4-on-4 for at least the time being before a minute and 44 seconds of power play for the U.S. Head coach Spallone telling his team to hold up, wait for reinforcements from the penalty box. As Stearns comes back out. Hall on the right. Sebastian to Hall. He'll score. And Gabois is going to be heading to the box for unsportsmanlike, I believe, for something that happened right after the goal. And you're probably going to see it as Gabois right there gets right in the face of Nichols as they collide helmets. And I bet you're going to get a real good angle of it right there. There's now a power play coming up for Haudenosaunee. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. And they're still trying to figure out what's going to be going on here. They did announce 5-on-4. They haven't fixed the clock quite yet. It looks like we're ready to go now. Ryan down the left side. Into the corner. And Gabois gets a 10-minute unsportsmanlike conduct. Down the left side, the U.S. set up behind the goal. Sebastian gets called in the crease. And it looks like we are going to get our halfway timeout at 5:32 left in the third quarter. The U.S. up 14-2. You're watching the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. .532 to go in the third quarter. 14-2, favoring the U.S. Sands getting ready to start with the ball for Haudenosaunee. Sands over half. Down the left side. Big hit on Silva by Sands. McAmmon down the right. Fired on, Contreras. That's going to be number 3. And he had to wait for that one a little longer than he might have wanted. But you know that felt good. Tosher is going to be right across from Iznana. Picked up by Tosher off the draw. Schultz on the left side. The U.S. setting up their offense. Back down the right, fired on. Good stop by Stearns. Dayrider getting the pickup in the corner. Crowchild sending it down the floor. Bouncing right in front of the net. Rugal with the pickup. Cross half to Sebastian. Up at the top, Buzinza. That'll end up going out of play. Dayrider over to Contreras. Over to Sands. Knife with it. Thought about going for the dive. Walking back down the floor. Chance for Silva. Fires it on. Good stop. It'll end up rolling back down the floor. At the top. Takis. Gregoric. Diving through. Won't get that to go. Cutting right over the top. Back up to Stearns. Gregoric at the top. Down the left side. Stearns seemed to think that that went in, but it didn't quite creep over the line. It'll go back outside. Lazinza. Takis. Stearns with it once again. Walking across the slot. He'll lose his stick due to a slash. Stearns not too happy. As we'll see Ruckel run over to the bench. Up high. That'll be a stop as Stearns not too happy about how that all went down. The U.S. heading back on the power play. Coulter Goodwill. Up at the top. Hall's got it.
Haudenosaunee, penalty, number 77, Coulter Goodwill, 2 minutes for slashing. Time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 20 seconds in the third quarter.
The call on Goodwill was a slash as they'll work their way around the outside of the arc. Stearns on the shot, blocked right in front, and that looked like it's done. Breakaway shorthanded is not. Walks in, goes low. Can't beat Ruckel. Tosher. That's an over and back on the U.S. And you could see the look on Stearns' face right as he was about to receive that ball. It looked like he definitely knew what was coming. Back at the top, Contreras. Slowly working down the right. Back to the top, long shot by Contreras. Stopped by Ruckel. Down the left side, Schultz over half. Gregor. He'll get it up at the top. Sebastian down the left into the corner. Lazinza down there with it. Sebastian at the top. Walks into a double team down the right. Stearns on the shot. Won't go. 20 seconds still left on the power play. They'll get the rest of it during this shot clock. That'll be another one. Sebastian. Stearns. Up to Sebastian. Gregoric. Sebastian again. Fires it on. He'll score. They were able to get it with 1 second left on the power play. See yet another look at that breakaway stop on his Nana. Dozier down the right. Trying to put this one on. They'll score. The U.S. fake out Lalonde. Get one more. And you can see in the highlight here, straight off the faceoff, Tosher down the right, bouncing off a defensive stick, straight back to Terrazano. So we one back to Kuczma. Hall with it. Dacus up to the top, Sebastian. Sebastian down the left side. Just a little bit more game clock than there is shot clock. Back across the zone, Sebastian walks in. All alone, goes low, can't beat Lalonde. 5 seconds to go. Dayrider running out of clock. 3 seconds to go. Passing to the top, and that will do it. 15 minutes still left to go in this one. 16-3, favoring the U.S. You're watching the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship. All right, we are moments away from the fourth quarter here. 15 minutes put up on the board as we get ready to go. Tayson Knight will be across from Tosher for the U.S. in the opening draw of the fourth quarter. 16-3, favoring the U.S. They have looked real good as they are attempting to hold on to their undefeated record so far at the World Juniors. Tosher firing it on, stopped by Lucid. Will get swatted back to the corner. Picked up by Hall. Spinning it back around the zone. Right in front, all alone is Greg Orick. Lalonde took that one away. Down the left side, back to the top. Sharp with it. He'll walk back out. This one whistled on. Good stop. Schultz now the other way. He'll walk over the half line with it. Dacus up to the top. Stearns down the right. On the right side, fired on by Stearns. Picking that rebound up. He'll take it behind the goal. Back to the top. Hayes, that'll miss. Back up to Sebastian on the outside, 20-second shot clock. Looking for an option up high. This one fired on, tipped wide. U.S. will get called on the shot clock. Heading back down the floor. Mahar Robbins over half. On the left side. Walks in on the attack. Dayson Knife jumping on top of it. The U.S. trying to head down the right side of the floor. Stearns with it. He'll fire it on. Good stop, Lalonde. Haudenosaunee up to 60 shots faced so far here tonight. Sharp down the left side. Mahar Robbins. Back to Sharp. In front, Contreras on the shot. Good stop. He'll try and head the other way now. That'll be a long pass. Schultz in. Not able to beat the goaltender. Looking down the floor. Long pass. Bounces off that stick and into the netting. Heading down the right side. Back to the top. That's put on by Sebastian, and he'll score another. As the refs having to come in and separate both of these teams. We'll see what they end up calling here. They're escorting a few players to the box right now. Currently, there are 2 in there for Haudenosaunee. 2 in there for the U.S. as Gregoric and Gabois take a seat. So they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do here. Could just go the coincidental route. They do throw 2 minutes up on the board. Mahar Robbins heading back to his bench to explain what the outcome of this is going to be to his head coach. It might be a power play coming up to the U.S., as I believe Gabois is still in there from that 10-minute major. As Kuczma and Gabois having a conversation at the box. Still only a penalty on one side of the board here. It is the penalty to Sands. It looks like it's going to be a power play for the U.S. A little under 12 minutes ago in the fourth quarter. Lalonde exiting the game here as we're going to see Paulus coming back out. Blaine Palace played the first quarter for Haudenosaunee. He will be returning to play the last one. As they're still explaining this to both head coaches, as you can see right there on the screen. Unfortunately, I'm not too good of a lip reader, so I can't help you out too much there. Looks like we're going to start with a center floor faceoff. I count 4 players out there for Haudenosaunee to the 5 for the U.S. So it will be a power play for the United States. Back in the corner. Sebastian on the right side. Back to the top, Stearns. This one fired on. Powless can't stop it. That'll be another one for the U.S. A little under 12 minutes to go. This will get knocked over towards the U.S. bench. Knocked off. I believe that's the stick of his Nana as they go into the corner. On the try there. That was Lucid. Heading the other way, the U.S. Down the right side. Dozier cutting across. Fires that one off the post. They'll head back up to the top. Kuczma down the left side. Sebastian to the corner once again. Takis back up and down the right. Hayes with it. Stearns across the floor. Takis down the left in the corner. Sebastian fired it on. Good stop. That'll go into the corner. Goodwill. We're going to get a whistle here as a few players going at it along the wall. Things continuing to be chippy here late in the fourth quarter. Sands making it known he's not too happy as he'll be escorted to the box. Looks like Hayes is going to be joining him. So will be Stearns as Gabois finally allowed to leave the box. As they're still talking about this in the box there. We've got 3 U.S. players currently in the penalty box. 2 for Haudenosaunee. They're still talking this over at center. And it looks like they've got their answer as Schultz is coming down the floor to explain things to head coach Spallone. 5 minutes coming up. And I believe that was Sands getting the 5 minute for boarding. As, yeah, Sands will get the 5 minute. Stearns as well as Hayes will both be in the box for 2. It's going to be a check from behind for Brayden Sands on the major. Unsportsmanlike conduct to Brayden Stearns, and a check from behind minor to K. Hayes, or Hayes, excuse me. As they're still trying to figure out what exactly is going to be the plan. It looks like the U.S. are calling a timeout. As they're going to talk this one over, come up with a game plan. The players on the floor for Haudenosaunee deciding to stay out. Have their huddle around their side. Ruckel returning to his posts. 10:22 to go in the fourth quarter. And it looks like they've got it all figured out now. The U.S. will take it up at the top. 4-on-3, favoring Haudenosaunee. Down the left side, Ryan. Up at the top. Charging in, Sebastian will get stopped and turned away by Paulus. Sharp at the top, down the left side. He'll see a lane, try and push in. Down the right, out to his captain, back up to Contreras. To the top again. Sharp, off the shoulder, turned away. Contreras on the wall. Back to Sands. Contreras passes it to Sharp. Sharp, Sands, cross to Nichols. Can't make it work. Back along the wall. Sharp, cross to Sands. Misses on the shot. It'll go wide. 10-second shot clock. Back up to the top. Sharp, down the left side. Fires it on. They'll score. Nolan Sharp finds number 4. Point number 2 on the game for Nolan Sharp. Had an assist already. Nichols. Cross from Tozier. Picked up by Tozier. Jonathan coming in. Tozier will go cross to Schultz. 8:45 to go in the fourth quarter. Passing it down the left side. Tyler Sebastian. Up at the top, going down the left. Up high, fired on. That'll be a long pass down the left side. Crowchild fakes the handoff, sends it over to Tayson Knife. Stearns out of the box, gets the steal, and he's going to go for a run with it. Down the right side, needs to outrun Dayrider. He's going to walk in, miss wide. Knife on the pickup. Dayrider slow to leave the boards and let Stearns up, as they'll go back down the left. Heading back behind the goal. 5 seconds to go. Now one will miss wide. Shot clock called on Haudenosaunee. Kuczma will get the pickup. 7:35 to go. Takis passing it across the floor. Down the right side. Up high with it. Sebastian. This will miss and go back down the floor again. Sebastian can't stop that one from getting over the half line. Haudenosaunee getting the chance to send out their offense once again. Back in the corner. To the top, Contreras. From the outside, Contreras goes across to Sharp. Sharp trying to lose his defender. Back down the left side. Spins off Tosher. Back to the top. Sharp charging through the lane. Dives for it. He'll score! Nolan Sharp goes back to back. And it's that Rocky View Silvertip connection right there as Contreras is going to get the primary assist. Nolan Sharp heading to the box after the penalty. Or after the goal. .6:41 to go in the fourth quarter. Nichols and Tosher in the draw. Tosher down the right. Fires it on. Paulus makes the stop. Up at the top. Sebastian down the left side. He's going to hand it off and head to the top. U.S. power play still underway as that'll go off the post from Stearns. Back down the left. Blocked by Paulus. He'll get the pickup. Look further down the floor. Long pass. Contreras 2-on-0 with Nichols. Walks in, fires, he'll score. As that is 3 straight back-to-back shorthanded goals for Haudenosaunee. Getting ready for the draw. Heading in on the attack, the U.S. Still on the power play, but this power play is certainly not going their way. Back at the top, Sebastian. Takis down the right. Terrazano. Stearns on the left. Up to Sebastian. Inside, going low is Takis. Picked up. They'll score or no. Waved off. Takis is not happy about it. Looks like they'll say that he had a foot down in the crease on it. So they'll head the other direction. Mahar Robbins down the right side. Back down low. Mahar Robbins fires it high. Good stop. They're going to head the other direction with it. Kuczma. Sending it across the floor. Down low. Bounce pass finds Stearns. This one fired on. Good block by Paulus as we get a hand in the air, and the U.S. Or excuse me, I believe it's going to be Haudenosaunee heading to the box. Mahar Robbins going to sit. 4:30 to go in the fourth quarter. They will spend half of that on the penalty kill. That being said, they did just score 2 shorthanded goals, so we'll see what they can do here. Certainly doesn't mean that the offense has to stop if we've learned anything. On the right side, passing it across. That'll get tipped wide. Dubois on the left side. Back outside to the top, Sebastian. That'll go in. Terrazano will beat Paulus on the far side. Not a whole lot he could have done about it either. So it was a nice setup play by the U.S. That'll be number 19. Dubois getting the assist on a very well-placed pass. As it looks like Paulus is down towards his goal here. The trainer's out checking on him. As it looks like Lalonde is getting ready to go. Not wanting to take any risk, I'd assume, here, with 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Paulus stretching out his leg. It looks like he's good to stay out. Lalonde walking back towards the bench. And it must have just been a cramp or something like that in the right leg, from what I'm seeing here. Ruckel heading back towards his crease. Nichols up high. Tosher. He'll pick up the face-off win over Nichols. Down the left side. Terrazano on the right side. Dacus down the left to the wing here. Back down the right, Terrazano. That'll bounce over top of the net. Dacus. Good stop by Paulus. Long pass. Missing the stick of Lucid. Heading back down the right side. Gann will take it over half. Looking for options. Finds one in Hayes off the bench. Down the left. Hall into the corner. As Hayes is going at it with Mahar Robbins. Stearns up at the top. Good stop on Gebois. Heading down the left side, Nichols. 180. All that remains here is Day Riders going at it with Stearns. No call on the play. The U.S. wanting one. Stearns the other way. On the rush after a long pass. He'll score. And plenty of celebration out of the U.S. bench for hitting 20. Tosher coming out to take the draw. Back along the near side. Gregor down the right side. Into the corner. Empty net for the U.S. We do have a power play coming up. Hall gets the shot off, sprawls on top of it. Cross check will be called on Sands. 2:14 to go in the fourth quarter. Rugel will walk his way back over to his crease, having gone plenty of cardio in this fourth quarter. Gebois getting ready to take it from center. Down the left side. Back to the top, Gebois. Terrazano. Hayes. Gebois once again. Hayes taking a hit from his Nana. As we'll see Hayes get it back. On the right side. Back to Terrazano. To the top. Gebois. Back along the outside. Good stop by Paulus. 1:30 to go. Down the left side, Nichols. On the attack, has Sands deep in the offensive zone. He won't go for it. Nichols. On the left side with it. On the right, Contreras. Winds up, fires it on. That'll get turned away. Rugel will get the cover and send the U.S. the other direction. 50 seconds to go. Gebois wanted the pass down the left side. Wouldn't get it. Ryan back across. Gebois behind the pass. Back pass. Nearly finds Gregoric. Getting a little fancy with it. About 15 seconds more on the game clock than the power play. 40 seconds to go. 20 seconds on the shot. Sands back in the corner. Contreras up at the top. Trying to spin off that defender. Taking a few whacks from Silva. Contreras choosing to just roll that one into the zone. 20 seconds to go. The U.S. will walk it over half. Send it down the left side. And it looks like they're just going to let the clock wind on down. The United States move to 3-0 at the World Juniors, winning all 3 of their first games by 20 or more goals. Quite the start for the U.S. And tomorrow, they've probably got their biggest task ahead of them, taking on the host Canada. That'll be at the 8 p.m. slot. As we'll get ready for the handshake line here. Ruckel will lead the U.S. On the other side, it looks like it will be Lalonde. As we'll get ready for the loading lacrosse player of the game, presented by SportSide, Source for Sports. And after that, we'll get the playing of the winning side's national anthem.
The loading lacrosse players of the game, presented by SportSide, Source for Sports. Today's player of the game for Haudenosaunee, number 19, Reese Sands.
And Reese Sands getting player of the game for Haudenosaunee. 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points to his name. Has been a big part of their tournament so far.
Today's player of the game for the United States, number 3, Brayden Kuczma.
And the captain's gonna get it for the U.S., Brayden Kuczma. Now we'll throw you down to the floor for the playing of the winning side's national anthem.
We ask you now to please rise and over your headwear for the playing of the national anthem in the United States.
All right, that'll do it for day 3 here at the 2026 IIJL World Junior Lacrosse Championship here in Brooks, Alberta. Make sure to come back tomorrow as we get ready to go on Canada Day when we see Australia and Poland get us underway for the 5 p.m. And then at 8, it's the U.S., it's Canada. It'll be a good one. We'll see you then. Make sure to have yourself a good night.